Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to what is another edition here of the Brilliantly Dumb Show. Very, very good to see you, boys. We got a lot to discuss. Mikey V coming in hot with the Breezy sweatshirt. The Brilliantly Dumb Show is brought to you by the fine folks over at Breezy. Head on over to breezygolf.com. NFL playoff weekend is here. Joseph, good to see you as always. Michael, very good to see you as always. How are you today, Michael?
Sprightly. Thanks for asking, Bob. Feel great.
Good,
Yeah.
good. It's a good place to be.
Yeah, I guess.
That's a good place to be.
Doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, you gotta
we're supposed to get snow tomorrow, and I'm trying to track this flight. I don't want to get screwed on this flight. So
for the championship.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, Michael. You have had more, and it really is like a big Jersey Italian thing. You have a kid's birthday every single weekend, like Luna Lou's, and I was telling it really is. It's a very Jersey.
A lot of birthday
thing.
parties.
A lot of parties. It's a very Jersey Italian thing.
This is one of the kids from my daughter's school. These aren't even these are just now. It's like the school. It's the school people. It's not really not really my friends. I mean, my friends' kids is one thing. Obviously, most of my friends have kids now. That's one thing, but now it's like it's the schoolmates, the classmates, Bob. And I got to tell you, there's no place I'd rather not be than a 6-year-old or a 5-year-old birthday party on NFL divisional Saturday. But the party will be over before the Chiefs game. And obviously, I'm not a Chiefs fan, but
we
need the Chiefs, man.
Did you hedge?
Did not and will not.
Good.
Not in this game. Not in this
really,
game, I won't.
Not that you want to take advice from me in the betting world, but you know what I think? I just think Ohio State's so much better. I know Notre Dame's such big. I think you play it risky. I think you ride the Chiefs out. I think you ride Ohio State out, and then you hedge. Let the Chiefs fans one more. Let Ohio State win the game, but you don't want to take betting advice from me because
I mean, look, in terms of the national championship game, and by the time people hear this, it'll be said and done. So it'll be over, and we'll have a national champion. So I don't know who it's going to be. I'll say this: I'm cautiously optimistic about Monday night. Like I know how good Ohio State is, but you cannot count a team out that's just beaten Penn State, Georgia, and Indiana back to back games. Like they've proven that. I thought they were dead in the water against Penn State. I thought Penn State should have won that game, and Notre Dame just kept fighting, and not going to be able to just walk in there and just take the trophy. They're going to have to battle this team, and we'll see what happens. But I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, but back to the birthday party. Why is that? Isn't it the parents' responsibility though to watch over all the kids, or is it the expectation that you have to come with G baby? Is that how that works?
I have to go with both. They're both invited because they went to the same school. It's like they're preschool. So Dom's in kindergarten.
My kids won't be doing that.
Preschool.
What do you mean your kids won't be doing that?
Doing weekend parties at 6 years old.
So your kids aren't going to go socialize. Joe, you say that now, and I said the same thing. Let me explain
I'm doing
something
that,
to you.
dude.
If Nicole says to you, Joe, we're taking the kids to the birthday, guess what's going to happen? If you're not in Maui or you're not in Nova Scotia or wherever you are, you're going to be going to that birthday party, dog, because you're not going to want to hear it. You're going to go. I'm just letting you know what's going to happen. You're not going to
put my kids in sports and different things like that.
But my kids going to put his kids in sport.
When they turn 8, 9 years old, and they're a little older, than they actually know what's going on and they're going to parties. That's a different story. 6 years old, you're going to a party. It's like, what are we doing here?
Joe,
that's not going to happen.
Cognitive memory starts at 4 or 5 years old. They say, Dom knows Dominic knows what's going on at this point.
Dom's different. I'm saying, but this for G baby's party.
But she has to go. It's just it's difficult to explain. But you'll see, Joe. You will see. I'm telling you.
I'm just saying, Mikey,
will be at those parties. He will be.
I don't think I will be. But how much do you remember from when you were 5 years old, Michael? I'd like to ask that.
I have some core memories for sure. I mean, I don't.
bet none of them
remember
are birthday
everything.
parties.
I can't even remember what I had for breakfast last week.
Yeah,
so
that's my point.
Yeah. But that could be for several reasons. I've been been through a lot over the years.
How much do you remember from when you were 5 years
old?
Oh,
not much. Can't be much.
The old gold.
Hey, Apparently, I got the memory of a goldfish. So yeah, that, but not much to answer your question.
That's my point. Is it's like at Dom's age, I agree, Mikey. Dom is at the age where it's like, yeah, it's a different story. At 5, 6 years old, these birthday parties, like it's like it's ridiculous. I'm sorry,
but you know
I'm
what
gonna
happened?
say the fact.
I'm going to tell you what happened
thinking.
today. Right, I came home from the gym. And I walk in the house and G Baby's got on a princess dress. She's got like 30 of them. She just changes into a new one every like 4 hours.
Elsa?
Yeah, Elsa. She's got fucking the one from
Moana.
She's got the one from Princess and the Frog. She got all of them. I walk in the house. She's got the dress on. She goes, Daddy, it's Olivia's birthday today. We're going to the party, right? Are you coming to the party? Like, yeah, bro. Like, yeah, like you got me. You got me, dog. You got me right here. You know what I'm saying? She's got me right here and she knows it.
What do you think your parenting philosophy will be, Joey D, in the sense of, do you find yourself doing anything outside the box that you might think of?
What do you mean outside the box?
Well, I'll give you an example. You know, when my time comes, first off, I'll ask you a lot of questions, Mike. You get a lot of calls from me.
Yeah.
But when my time comes, when my kid gets ready to go to college, right?
Sure.
And
I mean, Bob, we're talking. I mean, you know how old
I know.
I'll be at that point?
No, I know, but this is something I feel
I'll be like in my
strongly about.
60s. How scary is that? By the time that happens, I'll be in my 60s. That's fucking frightening.
We're gonna have in 2 years, Joey. I'm already planning Joey D's 40th. It's gonna be. Let me tell you something about Joey D's 40th.
Mike and I turned 40 the same year.
We could do a call. Yeah, that would be great.
A 40-year-old birthday bash.
That would be really.
That would be some just over the hill with Mike and Joe. That's what it would be.
Yeah, we're gonna become so stale. I mean, people are just gonna hate us in 5 years, man. Dude. Anyway,
Joe doesn't think so. Joe believes he will remain fresh.
Joe will be doing beer challenges on Bob Does Sports when he's 60 years old, dude. Joe's different. But when my kid, something I feel strongly about is when my kid, it's time for him to go to college. If he doesn't have an idea of what he wants to do, rather than sending him to a university and paying $40,000 a year, 50, whatever it is, just to go to something and just to go to college, I would prefer him to go into the workforce, find out, try different things, see what he wants to do. And then if something that requires a degree, then he goes to college. I think a lot of people just send their kids to college because that's the expectation of what you're going to do. And then they go and they get into a major that they don't even necessarily want to be in until they realize when they get into the working force, when college is done, that they wasted the last 4 years and want to do something different. The folks listening, we're in an Airbnb, so it's tough Wi-Fi is a little tough. We apologize about that. But do you know what I'm saying? I mean, does that make sense? Like why you
I couldn't agree more. Okay. I couldn't agree with
That's what I did, Bob. I took time away. I went into school and I didn't know what I was doing. I said, Dad, I'm wasting my time and your money. I'm taking some time off.
And look where he is now.
Well, but I wouldn't want him to take time off. I mean, like,
well, you just said
sometime, listen,
I went to work.
I did. So you were in the working force. Okay.
I did the same thing.
I was working in hospitality. I literally was going through the motions. I was in school to become an accountant.
Oh my God, bro. That was exactly what I was in school.
I was like, I can't stand the same. I don't have the patience.
I hated math.
Balance sheets. Yeah,
I hated math. So,
but the problem is
was really a dumb decision.
My uncle Nick is like a president of like a massive accounting firm, and I was like, it's just an easy, doorway for me to get into the business. And so I told myself that I would be good at it, and I might have been good at it, but I hated it. And after like a year and a half, 2 years of being in, I was like, this is just a waste of my time. My grades are starting to drop. Like I'm wasting my parents' money.
So when did you go to
Dad? I'm like, I'm not gonna do this. Like I'm gonna stop. So then I took like 2, 3. The problem is after that, I started just working and chilling and relaxing. I didn't have any bills to pay really. I was living at home, and from what I thought might be a year turned into like 4 years. And I was like 25. I was like, I got to figure out what the fuck I'm going to do with my life. And that's when I moved to Europe to go to hospitality school.
You know, what's a great story is when, if you don't mind me saying it, Joe, was when Joe found himself in some gambling debt. So he picked up like 3 jobs and he worked at a, they called him the Codfather because he worked at a fish and chips joint. And it's a great story to make the money back. He was doing a forklift. He was working at
the Codfather.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Why did I never hear this?
I was working like it. By the way, kids or whoever's listening, I will say this, that like the gambling shit can get away from you very fast. And you know what we talk about, we do talk about like how it's fun to like wager on games. I was in a bad spot. I accrued a bunch of debt that I'm not proud of, and I had to pay off people that I had taken money from. And so I literally, Mikey, for one summer, for like 3 months, 4 months, I worked 3 jobs. I was working Snowcap. It was a warehouse that worked with baking stuff. I would go there at like 8 in the morning and work till like 3 or 4. And then I'd come home, and then I'd go to the restaurant. I was working like a fine dining restaurant as a server. Right. And then on the weekends, I wouldn't work the warehouse job. I'd work at the it was called Cockney King's Fish and Chips. And I would work.
Yo, that's unreal, bro.
Yeah, I would work.
The Godfather. That's right.
I would work the lunch shifts, and then I would go and still work. I was working like a madman. And, you know, I had to do it to pay off all the shit. So,
and Mikey, 15 years later, he's betting the Australian Open.
All right. Well, let's just relax. Okay. I'm not, thank God I'm not in the place that I was before. But my point being is what you were talking about with the college thing is I was not at a position where I knew what I wanted to do. And I was going through the motions, and, you know, unfortunately those motions cost a lot of money for your family. And so that's what I did. I took some time off. I was like, I don't want to do this, you know? So I agree with you, Bob, 100%.
I think that if you know, I would encourage any person who is younger, like, you know, just out of high school, really no direction at all. I would very much encourage them to get into a trade, electrician, plumbing. That stuff is like that. You'll always need that. The world is always going to need that. And, you know, these kids are going and getting these fucking, you know, Bachelor of, you know, social sciences and arts degrees. And like, what the fuck are they? Most of them, like, they're having a lot of struggles with them once they're out. Like, you know, a 4-year degree at this point is like a GED. Like a bachelor's degree is a GED. A master's is almost becoming the same. So it's like, I would heavily encourage people to pursue trades. I mean, trade is always a thing that is going to be useful. You always need an electrician. You're always going to need a plumber. You're always going to need a carpenter. You know, I would always encourage that. So I'm in full agreement with that. I really am.
What if Dom comes to you 3 years from now, 4 years from now?
By the way, he's already told me who he wants to be, but I'll let you finish.
Well, really?
Go ahead.
Okay. What if he says, like, Dad, I want to be a YouTuber?
Yeah, no, he'll never say that.
But what? But his dad is a big podcaster.
Dom right now told me at dinner the other night he wants to be a construction worker, a doctor, and what was the third one? He had 3 professions lined up. Well, doctor, construction worker, and the last one was pretty good too. He wants to do all of them, but he's been saying construction worker for he's been saying that for like 4 years. He's been saying
Dom saw how good of a job Cafone Construction did, and he said, you know what?
That's got a lot of money involved.
Oh man. Yeah. I would love for Dom to start his own like contracting business. Those guys make terrific money, man. They feel like terrific money.
Mike,
all these young kids want to be financial advisors now, which is ridiculous.
What's wrong? But what's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just
they think it's cool
a very
to
crowded space though. That's a very crowded space. Like I feel like people, again, like it's just like they want to do something that they first of all, everybody feels like wants to be the boss as soon as they get out of school. Like they want to be like, when am I getting promoted? This, that. I don't know, man. Like it was a different time when I came up in the workforce. When I started my job, it was like, you don't even fucking talk about getting promoted. Like you don't even speak. That's the way it was. Like for the first three to 5 years, don't even fucking say anything. Man. That's just the way I was raised, even in the restaurant business. And I didn't work at a place like Joe worked. I worked at like a mid-level steakhouse. Like when I first started, it was kind of like, you just shut the fuck up and just learn. So it's like, I don't know. To me, it's different.
One second.
Joe froze. Joe, you froze.
Yeah. Come on in. Thank you. Yeah, it's good. Sorry. Thank you, Hector. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yo.
No milk. No milk. Thank you, Hector. That's a Hector.
Oh man.
What?
We've completely lost it. Bob.
Was that the butler?
Yeah, who else? Hector with the
You had
coffee.
him bring you a coffee, Joe?
Bob, I had to shower and stuff. I didn't have time to have coffee earlier. He asked me if I wanted
You
anything.
know what I did? I walked into the kitchen and I made myself a coffee.
Oh man, oh man.
Did he
You
just
didn't
bring
make
you-
coffee, but Hector made you a coffee. What are you talking
Well,
about? You didn't make any coffee,
but I was with Hector when he made it.
but you didn't make coffee. Don't pretzel this shit.
But I didn't
Make
have
any
him,
coffee.
I didn't have him bring it to the room. I watched. I was with him.
He asked me, do you want anything, breakfast, coffee? I said, I had to come back and shower because we came from the gym and I had to get my top 5 ready. So I said, yeah, I'll have coffee. He said, now. I said, no, bring it to my room and have now. I wasn't ready for coffee back then. But what do you want me to do?
By the way, just so people know, we didn't request the butler. We went with a company, which is going to be my
here, Michael.
What's that?
We went. There's this company who booked the entire Bob Does Sports trip for us, and that is early. That is my buy. There is this company. This is not a paid ad. This company, they book your entire golf trip, top to bottom, for everything.
It's unbelievable.
Now, I was a little wheezy leaving the country. You know how I get, and I got to expand my horizons. Coming down to the Dominican Republic, it's been unbelievable. But this company, they do your entire itinerary, top to bottom. They take care of everything, courses, and they book this insane villa with butlers and me.
Oh, it's nice.
Well, I was going to say it's a little weird because they're
weird.
It's weird in the sense of like you go to the kitchen and they just like they kind of just like pop out. Like it's a little it's bizarre. I mean, what they set up is amazing, but it is a little bizarre. They just kind of pop out out of nowhere.
Hector's great, Bob.
He is. He's awesome. But you know what I mean, though? It's just kind of like anywhere you go, they just go and like watch you to see what's going on. Like I could do without that part of it.
Well, they just want to help you out, make your life a little more easy, Bob.
Yeah. Joey D's been loving it, dude.
Of course.
Absolutely loving it.
Don't portray this like I'm just sitting here having them serve me hand and feet. I haven't been doing that.
Okay. Fair enough. But no, it really is. What they do with the booking is absolutely, it's incredible. It's really,
we got to get you down here, Michael. You would really enjoy. You could even have a couple parties in here. It's big enough.
I don't even know what the fuck that means, but okay.
It was a joke.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Mikey's got a national championship to go to.
Yeah, he looks like he's in game mode,
which is going to be a fucking doozy. Absolutely. Mikey in those stands too is you're gonna
it's gonna be a problem. Yeah, there's some guys that you just don't want to be seated around when the game's going on. I would imagine Mikey's not the worst. Dickie Gas, I saw a clip of him at the Devils game.
I was gonna mention that.
It was one of the worst I've ever seen. This guy was
terrible.
Obnoxious, yelling at Rangers fans, like just I think Mikey would be respectful. I will say that because he's a respectful guy, but I do think he would be very loud and very, very adamant.
I mean, I'll be loud for my team. I'm not going to be like, I don't yell at other fans. I could care less about other fans.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying Dickie Gas. That clip that we saw was
well, you know, he gets very emotional. You know,
when I saw that clip too, that is he was going out of his way to go at people.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean,
speaking of bad fans, did you guys see what happened to that Eagles guy?
Yeah,
got banned for life.
Let me say something about that.
He got fired. He got banned for life. And you know what? He deserved it. What a scumbag.
Eagles fans are notorious for that kind of behavior. But let me tell you something, man.
That was brutal.
Let me tell you something. There are people who have done far worse than that guy has done. And it's never been captured because now everyone and their mother wants to go like this. Everyone and their mother wants to fucking catch the next viral moment on camera. Sorry, Bob. But like, you do realize that like this guy's life is now ruined because he called this lady a name, and it was a vile name and it was disgusting behavior. And if it was my wife, I would have had a fucking conniption fit. There's no doubt about it. I'm not excusing his behavior, but this guy's life is now ruined. For lack of it's done. And this has been going on at competitive sporting events since the beginning of time. There's assholes at every sporting event. And now like, it's just getting to the point now where it's like, the better choice is probably just to stay home. Just stay home. If you're going to act like that, your better decision is probably to stay home. Don't go, because if you can't control yourself, and again, this guy, I'm not excusing his behavior. It was disgusting. I said it a million times, but like, we can't be naive to the fact that this has been going on at the Link and in Philadelphia and other places for years and years and years. Yeah, and you know what? There's probably some fat fuck sitting at home on the couch that's thinking to themselves, you know what? I did something 20 times worse than that. Ha ha ha. Thank God I got to, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, bro, like, it's just everyone wants to out everybody.
That it's holding people accountable for being bricks. Fine. I'm not saying that the guy should get fired from his job, but there should be. Late. I'm saying the banning from going to a game forever, I think that is warranted.
That's a different story, but now you don't know this guy. Suppose this guy, like, so he calls this lady a vile name, disgusting behavior again. We don't know what was said to it. Now, he claims that he was provoked before it. We'll never know if that's true or not because there's no video evidence of it. So it's his word against hers. Now, let's say that this poor guy, again, horrible mistake. Let's say he's got a mortgage, he's got 3 kids, and he's the sole provider at home. Now he's fired. And now what happens? Because he did that, now he deserves and his family deserve now to. And again, I know it sounds like I'm defending him. I'm really not. I'm just trying to say, like, this happens all the time. And now it's like people get a video to go viral on the internet. It could end someone's entire life. Like, we're reaching a point in society where we're becoming so desensitized to everything, and we're waiting for this one moment in time. And it's fucking people's lives over, man. Like, it's just, and again, I don't condone what he said. I've said this 50 times now in this rant, but Jesus God, like, man, oh man.
Well, what about the Redskins guy or the Ravens guy who punched the other dude?
You're talking about a physical assault. Is a physical assault.
But I'm saying there are people who are doing that as well to get at the stadium.
Yes, when you put hands on somebody, you know, you're guilty of a crime when you put hands on somebody. Calling somebody a name, is it vile? Is it disgusting? Yeah, it is. It is. Is it grounds to lose your entire life?
So let me ask you.
I don't know. I don't know. It's a good question. Honestly, it's a good debate. It's a good conversation to have. And again, not excusing his behavior, because if he said that to my wife, I'm telling you, it would have been
Would you clock him?
Well, I'm not going to go on record and say I would do that, but I would be highly, I would be highly upset. I can tell you that. I'd be highly upset.
I see what you're saying.
Anyone would be.
But I don't think my wife, in fact, I know my wife would not be doing anything to provoke something like that. If that was completely unprovoked, but again, do we know that? Because he's claiming that it was not, that he was provoked, but we're never going to know.
In the video, though, she's not even engaging with him. She's just cheering for the Packers.
But that's what you saw, Joe.
Yeah.
That's what you saw. You know what I mean?
Get that. But I will say, you know, I think it's one thing if he goes at the guy as a guy to go.
I agree.
And I know you're not defending it.
I agree. Very weak.
But yeah, it is the risk you take in today's world. And I don't feel bad for the guy at all. I really don't. Because when you go to a girl to call him the C word, that is just the lowest.
It is.
And who knows how many times he's been doing that. You know, I would bet it's not the first time.
Probably not. Well, I don't know. I can't say, I don't know. But I mean, again, to go to a woman, disgusting.
There are some things though, like if he comes at a guy, or there's some situations where it's like, you know, now this person's out there, they lose everything, where they did something bad, but unfortunately now they're fucked, where I would have some remorse for. In this particular situation, I just think it's harder. At the same time, Mikey, not to say that it's warranted, you do wonder what was going on prior. I mean, you have to.
He clearly had a couple too many alcohol.
Well, that could be another factor in the equation, of course. Yeah. You know,
and this takes us back to that Clippers game where this could have been Joey D that lost it all.
But that's what I'm saying. Suppose that situation was caught on camera and it got Joe, and all it got was the clip, nothing before it. All it got was Joe screaming "fuck you" or whatever he said, and there was a kid in front of him, and like suppose
teenager.
Now, okay. And let's just say that the world turned on you, Joe, before you were a personality on the internet,
a star.
And let's just say the world was like, fuck this guy. Who is he? I want to know who he is. You shouldn't be talking like that. What then? You know what? Again, it's a very difficult conversation to have because I don't think the full context is there.
I see what you're saying, Mike.
Probably
I know
not.
what you're saying. And here's what I'll say is instead of those alcoholic beverages, this guy should have instead chose to drink LMNT.
He's making
Yeah,
this.
I'll tell you what,
Is he
LMNT
turning-
is a zero
He sure
sugar
is, he
electrolyte
sure is,
drink
he sure
mix
is.
and sparkling electrolyte water born from the growing body of research revealing that optimal health outcomes occur at sodium levels 2 to 3 times government recommendations. So if this guy would have been drinking that, I think he would have been in a much better place. And I'll tell you what, LMNT is a proud sponsor of the Brilliantly Dumb Show, and members of your community can receive a free LMNT sample pack with any order when they purchase through the custom URL. Get your free LMNT sample pack with any purchase of drinklmnt.com/dumb. Also try the new LMNT Sparkling, a bold 16-ounce can of sparkling electrolyte water. Stay hydrated with LMNT.
Really good.
You know what? Honestly, to piggyback off that, maybe this guy was having a little difficulty in the bedroom. You know what I mean? Maybe he just wasn't performing up to par.
It's possible.
Listen, when your car breaks down, you take it to a mechanic with no hesitation. You need it, and it's not something most guys can fix themselves, and men should think the exact same way about ED, erectile dysfunction, okay? But the reality is you might be hesitant to seek help. That's fine. Thankfully, through HIMS, you can get access to personalized erectile dysfunction treatment without stepping outside your door. It isn't a laughing matter. Bob shouldn't be laughing. The process, thankfully, is 100% online, so there's no need for an uncomfortable doctor's visit. It could remain semi-anonymous, okay? Start your free online visit today at hims.com/dumb, D-U-M-B. That's HIMS.com/dumb for your personalized ED treatment options. HIMS.com/dumb. The products mentioned are chewable, compounded products which are not approved by or verified for safety or effectiveness by the FDA. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Very good. Very good, Mike.
Back-to-back banger.
Erectile dysfunction can be a serious thing, and sometimes
I think that could be the issue with this guy. Honestly, he could be having some issues.
I
and
think
you know
sometimes
what?
That's why he took it on the lady.
Yeah, could be.
I think sometimes maybe erectile dysfunction is more mental than it is physical. I would say,
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like if you have one bad showing, you
A
know,
lot
and
of
then it
things
gets
are
into your
mental.
head.
Bob,
If
look
it's
at you.
if there's pressure.
Bob can't find a couple hours of sleep right now. It's in his head. Mentally, he can't. He's gone. How many nights now, Bob? You
What?
slept,
Mikey?
6 hours and 4 nights?
No, a little more than that. It's probably like 7-8 hours and 4 nights. I'm exhausted.
What about a little of this?
Bro, I don't.
Not helping?
It has nothing to do
devil's
with like
lettuce
leaving the
should help.
country or anything like that. I am so like mentally, I'm like, I have to sleep. I have to sleep because I haven't sleep. I am absolutely exhausted.
But you're not sleeping.
Not
No,
at
he's tossing
all,
and
bro.
turning.
I'm like texting these guys like 3-4 in the morning. Like
That's brutal, dude.
it has been the
He
worst.
He texted me at
And you're working out too. Like you would think, like if you're
Yeah,
working
I
out,
know.
like you know, that really like I get the best sleep
4:06
when I'm on
a.m.
it, too.
Hope I die.
Yeah, I listen. The "hope I die" text is something that comes out of our mouths far too frequently. I think as a society. I mean, I'm
That's
guilty
in
of
a
that too.
6-bedroom villa in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, that doesn't. Circumstance
Hope I
doesn't
die.
matter though. Circumstance doesn't matter. It's all about what's going on in the then and now. Yeah, Bob, I can't believe it. You know, a little bit of the cannabis I would think would
Or
be of
even some
assistance.
sleeping pills, Bob, or something.
I
mean,
don't know about sleeping pills. I
Dude,
mean,
Mikey, I'll try. At this point, I'll try. And look,
you smoke weed. That doesn't like that. Don't knock you out. That
No,
doesn't
it-
knock
to
you
be
out.
he
honest,
doesn't
it
have any
gets-
here in the Dominican.
Oh, okay.
well, yeah, but yeah, I just think it's been off. And look, nobody feels bad for what we're doing. Like we're on a trip, but when you have no sleep, and from the time we wake up, the camera's rolling, and we're going all day. I'm exhausted. I am absolutely exhausted, and I would be fine. We do it all the time. I have not slept. It's full blown insomnia. I can't sleep.
Yeah, that sucks.
That's
I mean,
horrifying, to be
knock on
honest.
wood. I think once every, I would say 2 weeks. I would say once every 2 weeks, I have a night where it's like I'm just tossing and turning. It happens like on average, I would say once every 2 or 3 weeks, and that night is truly miserable. And I can't imagine what it's like to go back to back to back to back nights like that. I would fucking go insane. Like I love sleeping. I love going to bed early, waking up early. Like I love to get sleep. And so I would lose my mind.
I always sleep great too. Like I thought last night for sure, but yesterday morning I woke up because we had to film 3 total videos. So we were playing 27 holes, but the last 9 was a beer challenge. I was up in my bed. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to function today. I don't know how.
That was that Teeth of the Dog course there. Tooth of the Dog.
It's nice.
Is it nice? Yeah. I played that on the PlayStation
Simulator?
5. It looks real nice.
Oh, yeah.
No, PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5. Yeah, I could actually play on PlayStation 5 like I'm good, Simulator.
Like, you're not bad. You just got to put more time into it.
No, I'm bad.
My favorite story, if I could be a fly on the wall, you know what I'm going to say, Mikey. The day that Mikey got into it with the caddy, I would pay an obscene amount of money to watch how that all unfolded. It would have been just absolutely.
You know what, too? He was the type of guy that like is right up my alley. Older guy, smoking cigarettes, no regard for himself. Just an older, like a weather beaten, warrior of time. And that's the kind of guy I like. Honestly, I'm all for that. But man, oh man, this guy just would not. He just didn't get it. Just didn't get it. Just
Did you lose it on him?
No, Joe. But like towards the end, I wouldn't even speak to him because he was just. I think he got it towards the end. I'm like, dude, like please. And then the guy who brought the member from the club who brought me there was like, listen, he's like, we're just trying to have a good time. Like just leave him alone.
Because I wouldn't have been I would have lost it.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm not gonna lose it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not the type of person like it takes a good amount to like push me to a point where I'm gonna snap. Because again, when I snap, it always looks optically so bad when I snap. It does. And Bob's laughing, but he knows exactly what I'm saying. When I snap, optically, it looks awful because I'm a foot taller than everybody. I'm bigger than everybody most of the time. Like, it just looks horrible. It looks like I'm just some big, huge, gigantic bully or asshole. And like, I don't want that. I don't want that. So like, I try not to, but like my buttons do get pushed. I know. I mean, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Did your caddy could have been the guy at the Eagles game. That could be that guy.
No.
Bob, remember when I lost it at the caddy at the Wilshire or at Bel Air?
What was he doing?
Mikey, this guy was in Joe's defense. The guy was a total prick.
I think I remember this. He was like making fun of him, or like he was like breaking balls after he hit shots.
Yeah, I make a pretty good shot. He's like, "Oh, it's gone."
It was in Joe's defense. It was more than breaking balls. He was being so. Finally, it's building up, and I see him, and I always know when Joe's about to snap. I know when it's about to go off.
Right.
And he hits a ball. He just like hooks a ball right.
And I'm like walking to see it
before, like Joe thinks it might be in, and the caddy like before it even hits the ground, the guy is like, "Oh no, it's gone, it's out," and he went off on this caddy. He went nuclear. And mind you, he's a guest of the club. So
yeah.
It was the first time we had met these guys who had us out, so we didn't really know them either. And I and this one guy is his personal caddy because he helps him with everything.
Right.
Mikey, I put this guy in a I put him in a blender, dude. It was bad.
Do you think that like some of these caddies, like I imagine the answer is just a simple yes. Like, do you think, especially at like the really high end places, like the club that we played at, Essex County Country Club is really like
I know I play there. It's unbelievable.
Right. For Perez, like for you and Perez, who play all these beautiful courses, to say like that's a top notch course, like it's a nice course. Do you think these caddies at these like top end courses, especially, like, do you think that they have like this, like almost this, like that they have to put on a show, almost like they have to, like, kind of like a referee in a football game, when they say like the refs are making the game about themselves?
Them. Yeah.
You think like the caddies are making the round about them in some places?
I think they're just so used to like no one's ever going to say anything to them that they just get a little bit of a level of like, oh, they can say and do whatever they want. No one's going to, they're kind of untouchable. I tell you what, Mikey, I went off on this guy so bad. And by the way, Bob and I were
What'd you say to him? Like anything in particular that you remember, like a real good like zinger you threw at this guy?
think I just went on a barrage of like expletives. Do you remember what exactly I said? I went nuts. I was just like, "Who the fuck are you to tell me if my ball's gone or not?" I'm like, you're here to caddy for me, not to give me a fucking a rating on my shots. I was like,
I will say though, after it happened, and this isn't going to make us look great. People will wonder what happened, but I know the caddy was out of line. We did end up getting so drunk that the caddy drove us home from the club. He drove us to dinner.
Yeah, we were going to take an Uber. He brought us. And by the way, shout out Ray. I actually saw him at Bel Air last time I played. He's a great guy. We actually get along well now. Because after that time,
he just completely outed him. He just
no, but you know what? After that happened, like the guy gave me respect, and I went back and played with Georgie Boy Bob like multiple times, and he was always a caddy, and he could not have been nicer to me after that. But it was like I established the point that I was not going to take that kind of shit, and I think that's just kind of his character sometimes.
I think there's a lot of people.
It's like the animal world, Michael. There's some dominance.
I think there's a lot of people in this world that are inherently aggressive or overly egotistical or aggressive. And the only time that they back off and show respect is when someone actually does go back at them.
Yeah.
Until that point, they don't show mutual respect. They almost think of you as less than until.
Yes.
I've had that happen to me numerous times at work and things like that, where people just come off as complete jerk-offs, but as soon as you go back at them with something valid, not just to go back at them, and you really like come back and be like, whoa, let's draw a line in the sand here. That's the only time you gain the respect. I think there's a lot of people like that.
Now to play devil's advocate, I'm sure there's a lot of times where they have guests of members who come and are just insufferable pricks. Treat them like they're trash. So maybe that's become like a counterbalance where they act like an asshole prior to that, so that person can't do that.
That's what I was going to say. I think in their side, I think there are a lot of douchebags.
There's some assholes out there, man.
I mean, especially in and not to out the golf game, but I mean, like, you're talking about, a game and especially at a club like that, you're dealing with people that, there's people there that are not the nicest people. You know what I mean? Not the most outgoing people.
So great. They just outed the guy. He's like, by the way, shout out Ray.
Yeah. Great guy. Love the guy. Great guy.
Amazing.
Great guy.
I've noticed when we film some Bob Does Sports episodes, there's some really good stuff, but then there are caddies that really ham it up and will go a couple extra notches to get into the video and stuff like that. And there's been times where it becomes a little too much, but then there's times where they're great and they add to the video.
Didn't you guys say that the caddy at St. Andrews was tough? The one guy?
They were brutal.
Hated us.
I had a guy named Clyde who just like completely.
Jesus, bro. He's just calling out just one after the other.
Clyde is never going to watch this YouTube episode.
Joe, I'm talking with St. Andrews now about coming back. I've been emailing with them.
Oh, no.
Yeah, well, I love St. Andrews, but you have to admit that the caddies hated us.
They weren't used to YouTubers. One of the funniest things I've ever seen, they've never seen, Cutsy was in a bunker and he blew up. Like it took him like 5 shots to get out and he just threw a fit. And the caddy
there's no shame in that. There's no shame.
It was a potbelly that was a potbelly bunker that was 6 feet tall.
I'm sure.
But who am I,
Joe? Took me 20 strokes.
Yeah, who am I to talk? I mean, but
I just would have took the ball and threw it right the fuck out, Joe.
Yeah.
They saw the cameras and they thought that we were like professionals. And then as soon as they saw how bad we were playing, they were like, what is this filmed for? You guys are terrible.
That is true. And then we started out so hot that I think they were like, all right, like these guys are pretty good. Like, and then it just blew up. I hit a ball to the right of this hotel that you wouldn't believe how far right this thing went, dude. I'm bad, man.
There's one, and on the 17th hole, Mikey, it's like a famous hole. There's a hotel that overhangs on the right off the tee box.
Yeah.
You're supposed to take it off the left edge of the roof. Well, right. Bob hit it so far right, I think it went into the lobby. Like it was like we heard it smash the roof of the hotel. It was
bad, dude. It was so far right.
Tough game.
All right, I already hit my buy. Let's head on over.
Oh, did you mention golf breaks? Did you say
yeah, dude. And non-paid ad, they've been unbelievable. Let's head over to Mikey V. Buy or sell.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell this week. I wrote it down. It's important. Oh yeah, this is. Listen, so I've been around this dog lately at work. It's one of these emotional support dogs, right? And,
Oh, nice.
beautiful dog, great dog. But I'm selling something it's gone on for far too long, and I'm just not a fan of it. Maybe people are gonna flame me for this, maybe not. Maybe there'll be some supporters. I am so sick of how people change their voice when they speak to a dog or a baby. I'm selling the dog baby voice, the dog voice, baby voice, pet voice. You know, when people go up and they're like they change their, I am selling that. So I speak to this dog like it's like, I'm like, hello, dog. Like I just speak to the dog
You
like
can't talk to a dog like a person.
Sure I can.
Like that.
Sure I can. Sure I can.
I just say hi, dog.
I'm selling baby talk, dude. I think it stinks. I think it's absolutely horrible. I hate it. I hate baby talk, dog talk. I hate it. Just talk to the dog or the baby like, hey, how you doing? How are you? Okay.
Have you ever had a dog?
No.
Okay, that would change.
I had a cat. I had a cat.
You had a cat?
Sure. Growing up, growing up, my mother had a cat.
The cats don't count.
I can't.
It was a kitten, though, Joe. It was a kitten.
Kittens are cute, but I will say, Mikey, I will say this. I agree with what you're saying, 100%.
There you go.
But
okay,
if you get a dog, Mikey,
right.
If like little Dom and G Baby get a little older and you get a puppy,
yeah,
you tell me that for the duration of that dog's life, you're just gonna say hi, dog. It's not gonna happen,
agree.
dude.
I agree.
You become attached to them. They're like children, and it's almost funny.
I don't talk to my children like that. I don't talk to my children in a baby voice.
With the dog, it's the one place where I can see why people do it. I agree with you. I think it can be a bit much.
I think for the dog to gain a true partnership and friendship with the owner, it should be spoken to just like a real friend would be, like an actual friend.
You know what I would love to see you with? Just like a big ass German Shepherd, like one of these.
Dude, like how do you know, like, bro, like
what?
I would rather fucking drill a hole in my head than have a huge dog in this house, like the chaos. Yeah, I know. I'm telling you.
Protect the family, Michael.
Yeah.
I got something to protect the family.
Oh, I bet you do, man. I bet you
I got something to protect the family, Joseph.
I don't doubt that one. You ever see the dogs that John Bones Jones has a dog?
Yes. He's got Dobermans, right? I think he's got Dobermans or Great Danes.
This is the most highly trained dog you could, and like he goes everywhere with the dog. He brings the dog on a plane and gets an extra seat. By the way, did you see Habib getting kicked off of that flight?
Yes. Why?
Fascinating. It's a
Frontier
bad look.
Airlines.
Why did he get kicked off? I saw the video. I don't know any of the context as to why.
He was being respectful too.
They had felt that he didn't speak English and that he couldn't assist in the exit row.
And by the way, who wouldn't want to be assisted by Khabib?
Right, but she had no. If I was on that flight, it really is true.
You feel so.
This guy would be holding the door together if it comes to slot.
If I was on that flight, I would say to the flight attendant, "You got to Google, like you got to know." I would tell her who he is, but he speaks very good English. He speaks English completely fine.
So then, how the fuck did they throw him off the plane?
It's a bad.
They told him he had to move seats. If he didn't want to move seats, then he had to leave the plane.
So what did he do?
He was like, "That's not fair." He said, "That's not fair. Like, why are you?"
So he didn't even take the flight.
No, he walked off.
Oh, that's gonna be a problem for that airline.
Oh, Frontier Airlines, as if you've ever even heard of that before.
I've heard of Frontier, but that might be the last frontier for Frontier Airlines. that's not a bridge I'd like to cross, man. Yeah. That's not a guy I'd like to cross. Are you gonna watch UFC tonight, Bob? Now that they scratched that guy from the main event,
I know it's terrible.
That guy Islam is gonna rock this other guy. He's
Brazilian
like a -900 favorite.
To be honest, Islam was gonna beat I'm going to pronounce the name wrong. Arman Tazoukian or Arman
Tazoukian. Yeah. Or I'm mispronouncing that. Someone's going to rip us in the comments. Sorry.
He was probably going to beat him, but it would have been a much better fight. The thing that I don't get is it's a back issue that he had.
Correct.
He had to know that like throughout the press
Maybe
conferences.
he didn't want any piece of this guy, Bob. That's how dangerous this guy is.
Do you see that thing in the of this Islam in the snow, Mikey? You see that?
These
the
guys
bathing in snow and jumping in fucking glacial
These
water.
guys train like legitimate, like cavemen, like animals.
They're like KGB soldiers.
They're
it's
nuts,
insane.
bro. They're nuts. Like they're dangerous people, bro.
So the new guy that they brought in, and this guy's a nut, but the new guy that they brought in, they went to do the face-off. And if you look at the guy's right hand, his right hand is shaking. When he stares down with Islam, his right hand's shaking. So just never, I've done it too many times and gotten banged. Never bet against the Dagestan fighters. Never against
P said
guys.
P said that this guy's gonna sub him. He's gonna win by sub because he said the other guy doesn't have any power and he's gonna try and like wrestle with him.
You can't place a -900 unless it's in the
no.
That's why
win by submission.
Yeah,
and
then
submission.
you're probably gonna get
I
that
would
at like
UFP
250
picks tonight. By the way, Michael.
Yeah, we're gonna have a ball.
UFP picks tonight would be nice.
That and I'd love to, put in a bet on that Commanders Lions game also.
That's right. A lot of ridership tonight.
Oh, we could have a couch game.
Couch game.
I mean, I'll be available for the night game. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The G Baby's party will be done by then.
That'll be done. Yeah.
Yeah.
The birthday party, the kid's birthday party. Joe's never taking his kids to a birthday party.
Not until they're a little older.
Not until they're 10 years old, he said.
7 or 8. 7 or 8.
7 or 8. All right. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I apologize.
Joey D, let's go
selling
buy or
the
sell.
baby voice. I hate it.
Let's go, Joey D, buy or sell.
Bob mentioned this earlier. I've been watching a lot of tennis lately. I feel like the tennis game is something that I've got out of completely, and I don't know the slate of names nearly as much. Now I do think that like Mikey, you and we were blessed with watching some of the greatest tennis players on the planet Earth between Nadal, Federer, Djokovic. Before that you had Pete Sampras. I mean, you had such great.
Who was the other guy with Andre Agassi?
Andre Agassi. We had such a great spew of like, to the point where like there were such great tennis players, and now I feel like I didn't even know this Italian guy, this Sinner, who's unbelievable. He's #1 in the world. I didn't even know that. So I've really gotten out of the game now.
If you asked me, I would have said Djokovic is still #1 in the world. I don't know. So that's how
Sinner
far
guy who apparently is so good that they got to test him for doping or whatnot. But I've just gotten out of the field and I started watching because it's Australian Open, the major, and watching tennis. It's truly it's an awesome thing to watch, and I really want to get back into watching it. So I've been watching quite a bit of tennis. The only problem with this one, the Australian Open, is at such a late time that you have to watch it late hours at the night. Yeah. But it's been really enjoyable. I've been watching it a lot, and that's my buy. I'm back in on tennis. I want to get reacquainted with like the field and the names, and like it's truly enjoyable. Some of these matches go 3-4 hours, just like
I like Wimbledon. I always watch
Wimbledon's,
Wimbledon.
But I feel like golf and tennis are very similar in the sense that like your average person, they will watch the majors of like the main tournaments of golf, like the Masters, the US Open, the British Open, same thing with tennis. But aside from that, you don't really watch, right? So these Grand Slam tournaments, these majors are awesome. And I'm really getting back into it. So I'm back in on tennis, gonna reacquaint myself and try to learn the field a little bit.
McEnroe. I love John McEnroe too.
You know who I love, who's similar to him, has the most swagger I've ever seen. Nick Kyrgios is fascinating.
Yeah, he's a wild boy. Yeah, he's an Australian guy who's just a crazy. He do all these wild trick shots in the middle of a match. Like
the women's circuit was wild too, and I really am blown away by the noises that they make when they hit the ball. I mean, it is just crazy.
They're giving everything they got, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah, they are.
All right. Let's head over now, boys. I think we're ready. I think we're ready for a top 5. I think this is going to be a fun top 5. I always forget who comes in second or third. Last week I won. I thought Mikey was going to take it. I really did.
Beardown came second.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that checks out. I thought Mikey.
Chocolate covered pretzels buried me, and I came under an avalanche of scrutiny for that one. But
yeah, I don't know where Mikey went wrong though. Mikey had his top 3 was amazing.
We were.
You're really close.
I think it was close. I think it was
really close.
Yeah. All right. So what we're going to be doing is top 5 most dreaded tasks. Right. So the
daily tasks.
Yeah. Top 5 worst daily tasks, errands, whatever, to complete, which I think is a pretty good one. I'm going to have to first say I am going.
Oh, you're going one pick, Bob? You're taking number 1?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go 1.
Okay.
So that leaves Mikey, who I assume would take the 3 hole.
Yeah, I guess.
Don't take it from me. I mean, if you want
No,
the 2.
yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I was, yeah.
And so that's gonna leave Joey D in the 2. Top 5 most dreaded tasks. I will start with the DMV at 1.
Joseph.
Over to the D man.
Well, this is it hits home because I just went going to the dentist. Terrible.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Brutal, man.
I'm gonna say the alarm clock, waking up to an alarm
Yeah,
clock,
that's a
daily
good one.
alarm wake up.
Yeah, that's good.
And then give me the morning commute, commuting to work. I mean, the morning commute, battling traffic, just awful. Morning.
So
morning
that takes,
commute.
yeah, I had sitting in traffic, so I guess that takes that out.
I'll go paying bills.
Sure.
That's a
Okay.
brutal one.
I'm going to go with one that I thought might be one, moving. Whenever you have to move, that is just the fucking worst. And I always say it with the moving, sometimes you don't think, even like the wires for the TV that you got to bunt, like everything. It's just fucking terrible. So give me moving at 2, and then give me taxes at 3.
Nobody likes Uncle Sam, dog.
I'll go with going to the gym.
Yeah, it's really good. God, he feels so good after it, but yeah, going.
It's tough to go.
When we went there today, me and Joseph went there today, and I like going to it. I was like, "Fuck!" I just know how much better I'll
Bob
feel
looked like
leaving
he
there.
had jumped in a pool by the time he had finished running. The guy was dripping. It was
Dude, I have a
guy looked
great.
like he was melting, Michael. It was wild.
I'm gonna take laundry. I
That's
fucking
a good one.
hate doing laundry.
Really
And
good.
then I'm gonna wrap around. It's a dad-centric pick, but anybody with kids knows getting the kids out the door for school in the morning is one of the worst fucking things on I mean, they're just all over the place. Getting them in the clothes, getting them on time, getting the kids ready for school is a miserable, miserable task. I hate it. I hate it. Thank God for Holly. Thank God.
I don't think there's been shout out Holly B. Real quick about Holly, I got a kick out of when I hit her up about your Christmas gift. I was like, like what can I get him? And she's like, Bob, don't have to get him anything. Just keep the podcast going. And I was like, yeah, that ain't going anywhere until we're 60. But the podcast.
By the way, Dickie V back today.
Yeah,
how sick is that?
That's a buy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Good
That's
for
a
him.
buy.
Him.
He had cancer.
Yeah, vocal too, and for him to come
Good for
back, he's
him.
doing the Duke Wake Forest game today.
Wow.
Doing that,
Pretty amazing.
awesome.
All right, Joey D.
It's me. I'll do dishes.
Great
Doing
one.
the dishes. Yeah, sucks.
Okay, so now back to me for 2 more.
Your final 2, yeah.
Okay, so give me doctor appointment, and then give me cleaning the house.
I think cleaning the house is pretty. Is there more specific, Mikey? What do you think?
No, I think that's fine.
Like housework?
Yeah, house cleaning. Yeah, I don't have an issue with that.
Okay. Committee approves. I'm done. Let's head over to Joey D.
I do one that's specific to me. Cleaning dog shit.
What's more annoying, having to to me, I would think having to take the dog for a walk is more annoying.
I actually enjoy taking the dog for a walk with Nicole. It's like actually because where we live, we have this beautiful man-made lake and area that we walk around, which is beautiful. So it's actually like tranquil for me to take the dog with her. But some people, like I imagine, Mikey, if you're in like snow and like frigid, horrible weather, then that would be a pain. But the dog shit, it's it's never easy. But it has to be done. You can't leave dog shit around. I mean,
speak for yourself. You know what I do with my road's dog is if it's just me on the walk.
Bob, you gotta clean it. Dude.
Well, when she takes the poop, I'll look around to see if anybody's looking, and then I'll do the fake swoop where I'll take the bag and I'll fake swoop, because then you have the shit in you for the longest time. You're holding on to it. And I can't stomach the smell
But you know, the only thing is if the dog poops in an obscure spot where there's not people around, then that's one thing. If the dog is shitting in a common area, Bob, then that's a terrible practice because
If there are people, I run
I'm
at
saying if it's
50-50.
if it's in an area where people are going to be walking and have a potential opportunity to walk into it, that's just a disservice to your common man.
That I am cognizant of. If it's sidewalk or right by the sidewalk, yes.
You know
there
who
are
said that
times-
they would never pick up dog shit if they own a dog? They just
Perez.
refuse to.
Perez.
No, Showtime anytime Featherston.
Yeah, that checks out. Oh, you talking about?
It's like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, I just won't clean it.
Okay, back to
shit.
you boys.
No?
Oh boy.
Are we back?
Okay.
Yeah, you were a little choppy,
Uh-huh.
but you're all right.
Okay.
You're all right. Yeah, last one I would say, let me think here. It's really a toss up between two things. Yeah, I'll do another kid one. Getting the kids to bed. Getting the kids to bed, the nighttime
gotta be
routine,
tough,
showers,
man.
baths. Yeah, I mean, it's just they don't want to, your kids reach an age and they want to go to bed. Getting the kids to bed is brutal.
All right, what do we got here?
All right, we got Bob first. The DMV moving, taxes, doctor's appointments, and cleaning. Joe, we got the dentist, paying bills, going to the gym, doing dishes, and cleaning up dog shit. I have the alarm clock wake up, morning commute traffic, laundry, getting the kids to school, and getting the kids to bed.
All good
Yeah.
lists, to be honest.
Good list.
Yeah, I mean, there's few things you could say that it's like you could disagree with. I mean, all of the things you pretty much said agree. Mikey, real quickly, we talked about Wendy's coming out with your dream Frosty, by the way.
Which one?
The Girl Scout Thin Mint Frosty, dog.
Oh, is that up his alley, man? I mean,
Really
When does that
is.
come out?
February.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna have to put a call into Wendy, man.
There-
We need to give us some Frosty stuff. Like I know we did the Nugs, but let's fly with the Frosty. I'll do the review on the pod.
yeah, that'll be good. I thought it was out. I was getting ready to send it your way for
Not
the
yet.
pod.
I think February.
There's some collabs that these fast food chains come out with to me that are just such no-brainers. And then there's some that are just so bad. Like
Yeah.
KFC with the double chicken sandwich or the donut chicken that we had talked about. Like to me, it's just
They voted that double chicken sandwich is like the most unhealthy sandwich in the history of like mankind. The two fried chicken.
Oh, yeah, the bun.
Yeah. Well,
The
there was the
double-decker,
fried
whatever it
chicken
was.
was the bun. Yeah. They voted at the time. They said that was like the worst sandwich for you in the history of fast food, which is saying something.
Totally believe it. Michael, have a blast at the national championship. Go State.
Wow, good luck.
Thank
Good
you,
luck.
boys.
Go
Appreciate
Buckeyes.
it.
Big couch day today. To the folks of the Brilliantly Dumb Show that are all listening, we love you. We appreciate you. That has been another edition of the Brilliantly Dumb Show. We will see you next time.